Talking right now with PSC Commissioner Julie Fedorchak about what happened. So when that first vote went down, Commissioner, and you were hearing all of the spoiled ballots, what was going through your mind at that point?
Well, it was really disappointing to me that Rick Becker had told his supporters to do that when he intentionally left the party last year or in the last election cycle, knowingly abandoned our party. And then it's hard for me to understand how his voters are disenfranchised when he knowingly broke the rule. So it was just, it's not something that a person who's seeking one of our highest offices in our state and nation, that's not leadership.
How did you come to the decision in that moment after the second vote, to withdraw your quest for the endorsement and basically give it to Alex? How did you come to that decision?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, the numbers were really tight. There were just a few votes off, so who knows how it would have changed. But my sense was in the third ballot, they probably would have gone to Alex. And at this point, it's really, people have been sitting there for 2 days. This is a painful enough and hard process. And out of respect for the convention attendees, I felt that it was just better to just concede at that point, acknowledge Alex, applaud his good work and his following by the rules, and just move on. Because quite honestly, this was one piece of our strategy, and we wanted to get the endorsement of the party because I've been working for this party for 32 years. And so it meant a lot for me to be here, to get our grassroots folks. And I think we had a great showing. We were fresh, we were energetic, we were positive. I laid out my plan and my message, and all of that was a great accomplishment. So I feel like we accomplished what we needed to.
Yeah. And in that moment there when you addressed the convention and withdrew your request for the endorsement, you talked directly to Alex. It seemed like you felt there needed to be a moment of civility there. Am I correct in saying that?
Well, I just feel like, Alex threw his name in the hat. I have a lot of respect for anyone who throws their name in the hat and runs for office. He's served our country for most of his life. He's a veteran. Also have a lot of respect for that, so I just wanted to acknowledge that publicly.
Yeah. With regards to the vote and the spoil ballots that were cast in the first and second vote, it was some sort of apparent protest of the voting procedures at the convention. Can you speak to that at all? I know you can't get into the thought process of another person or their motives, but what compelled that?
I don't know what you're talking about, actually. The procedures of the convention.
Yeah. Why did they decide to spoil the ballots?
You'd have to talk to Rick and his supporters about that.
Yeah.
My understanding is they didn't like the rule that prevented him from being a candidate at this convention because he abandoned the party and changed parties in the last election. That's a rule that existed before he chose to do that. He knew that rule existed. He went ahead and abandoned it, became an independent, and lost not only to the Republican but also to the Democrat in that election.
There were a lot of calls throughout the week for unity in the party, and then the convention ends like this. Do you think that maybe these actions at the end here perhaps were counterintuitive to that message from others?
Well, again, very disingenuous of Rick to suggest that he ever was looking for unity. This effort, the spoiling the ballot, was all about him and drawing attention to him and setting himself up to look like the one who is the gracious one, when in fact he was the one that told his voters to spoil their ballots and throw the election that way, after he had decided himself to change parties and seek an office from a different party than the Republican Party, which he professes to be a member of now. That just doesn't wash.
Yeah. And so where does your campaign go from here?
We are excited about our campaign. This was a momentum. We were an organizing event. We were trying to get all of our gear together, all of our signs, all of our messaging. We did all that, so we accomplished a lot. This convention was a big success for us still, and we've gotten a lot of our signs out to our supporters. I think our supporters are energized, probably even more energized now because of how this all played out in the end. And so we're excited. We're taking this to June 11th, and I intend to win.